Hey guys, Chef Sam here. Today we're going to be making birria, so let's get into the video. So today's ingredients is going to include New Mexico chili, California chili, garlic cloves, cubes of Caldo de Sabor de Res, yellow onion, tomato, distilled white vinegar, salt, pepper, oregano, and Laurel Bay leaf. We're gonna begin by taking off the end of the chilies, the New Mexico and California chilies. We're gonna want to rip off the stem part of the end and take out the seeds of the chilies. Then once we got that done, we're gonna get a pot, a large pot, and put water in it. Then we're gonna grab our chilies, put them in we're gonna put it in a colander to rinse them off. Anything that could have been from within when they were in the bags. So you just wanna rinse them off in water. Then we're gonna drain it, make sure that all the water's out. And once we're good, we're gonna put the chiles into our pot of water. And then we're gonna take that and put it onto the stove. And we're going to turn it on to medium high or medium so that it could start to boil. While that's going, we're going to get our tomatoes and we're going to rinse them also. And then we're going to put that into the pot as well with the chiles. How many chiles of the two different kinds and the tomatoes are going to be in the description below. We're also going to put an onion in there, a yellow onion, so we just want to cut that into half. And then we're going to throw it in there to boil. So that should take around maybe 10 or 15 minutes, or until the tomatoes blister, as you can see in the video, how they have already blistered and they're ready. So then that's when we're gonna shut off the flame because it's ready to blend. So we're gonna start getting our ingredients from the boiled pot into the blender so that we can mix them, or we could blend them. So we're gonna do this in 2 batches. I was using the cup, but you could use some tongs because it was way easier to grab it. You're also going to want to put the onion in there So basically everything that's going to go into the blender is anything that was in the pot while it was boiling. So the chilies, the tomato, and the onion. And we're also going to put a little bit more water. The amount of water that I use is about maybe 2 cups. So we're going to use 2 cups. Now we're going to use a Caldo de sabor de res, and we're going to put 4 cubes into the blender, and that'll be enough to flavor the meat. So we only need 4 cubes. I know the video is going to show that I use more than 4, but just use 4 because it'll give it the right flavor. Inside the blender as well, we're gonna put oregano. I had to put, so far I put 2 smaller pinches of oregano, but if you can, put 1 large pinch of oregano. We're also gonna put black pepper. And then we're gonna put salt. One thing to keep in mind when making this recipe is that the meat has to be marinated a day before. So we're gonna grab our bowl, and then we're gonna grab our meat. We rinsed the meat prior to this because we wanted to take off any blood that was on it. So we are gonna salt the meat. I know you guys won't be able to tell, but we're just gonna lightly cover both sides of the carne with salt. And the type of meat that I'm using is chuck roast, and it is 3.6 pounds. So when you go to the store, that's the type that you're gonna want to get. It will also be in the description below. We're also gonna get our distilled white vinegar, and we're gonna pour some on there. Then we're gonna pour our marinade sauce on there. And then since that was the only first batch of the chile, since we still have more in the pot, we're just gonna get everything that's left in the pot and put it into the blender so that we could finish making the sauce. You're also going to want to put a big pinch of oregano if you don't put a big one during the first part. And then you're going to want to put 7 garlic cloves into the blender. And then you're going to mix it for some time because you want it to be really purified. Now that it's done, we're just gonna pour this last chili in onto the meat. Make sure that it covers the whole complete meat because you want it to be marinating. And then you're gonna want to grab 4 garlic cloves and throw them into the bowl. So you want to cover in saran wrap, and you're just gonna put it in the refrigerator to marinate overnight. And then you're gonna take it out in the morning for the next day. So we're gonna put it into a pot, and we started this at 10 o'clock. So by 2:30 or 3 o'clock it was ready. So it takes about 4.5 hours. So you do, if you want it earlier for like lunch, you would put it on a lot earlier than this. But if you want it for like around dinner time, this is about the perfect time to do it, or a little later. put 5 bay leaves in there, and you're gonna put it on medium low so that it doesn't burn. This is about 4 hours in, and we're checking to see if the meat is tender enough to stop cooking, but it wasn't ready yet, so we gave it another 30 minutes to cook. As you can see, it also is running a little low on juice, so we're gonna add a half a cup or a little less than a half a cup into there so that it just gets a little more water. And then you're just gonna want to mix it around. So this is 30 minutes later. We're just gonna check to see if it's tender enough. And sure enough, when you see my fork go into the meat, it goes in very easily than it was going in last time. So we're just gonna take a piece of the meat off and taste it to make sure that the seasoning is okay. You can also do this before it finishes to make sure that it's okay. And if you taste that it's too salty for you, just add more water. And if it needs more salt, you can add more salt. So you're just gonna want to taste it to make sure that everything is good. And it's good. So like I showed you guys, we made Mexican rice, and now you guys could use that recipe that I taught you to go along with this delicious Mexican dish that we're gonna be having today. So there are many different ways that you could make this dish, but obviously this is how my family makes it. So I'm just going to take pieces of the meat, but you can also shred it, and we'll be seeing that in a couple seconds because my mom is going to shred. And you're going to want to also put juice onto the meat, because if not, it won't taste as good because it's missing, because it needs that extra flavor. And don't forget to take out the bay leaves because you don't want anybody to eat that. So these are frijoles puercos. If you would like to learn how to make them, I'll leave it in the description below. And once that is done, once you get your frijoles on your plate, you're gonna go and put the sides on them. So we got red onion with jalapeno, we got guacamole salsa, the way that I taught you guys, salsa, and cilantro. I put cilantro, and then I'm going to get some guacamole salsa and put it on there. You can make these into tacos, you can make them into sopes if you want, you can make them into quesadillas, you could do so many things with them, so feel free to get creative, and that's how you make it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching my video on how to make birria. If you liked it and it helped you, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button down below.